Well, at one point, you reported that Tory Lanez was despondent and felt like he was being used by his attorneys. And Tory actually responded directly at you. And on an Instagram post, he said, with all due respect, please disregard anything that Meghann Cuniff reports on Tory Lanez. Her objective, perspective, and narrative has always been negative and extremely biased towards him. If there's an update on Tory, it will come from this first. If it doesn't come from this page, it's not real. With love, the umbrella. Okay, saying that it's not real unless it comes from your Instagram page is a little bit ridiculous when it comes to a free society with freedom of the press. But when you actually read that, and number one, what exactly led up to this, and what did you find, and what was he upset about exactly?
And this is what I like to call the Help Me Rhonda episode of the Tory Lanez saga, where I got an email from an attorney in LA, Rhonda Dixon, who said that she was Tory's new lawyer and that she wanted to talk about some things going on in the case. And the idea that attorney would announce that, I mean, that's what Matthew Barhoma did. We got a press release announcing that Matthew Barhoma was taking over was joining Tory Lanez's team back in January or February. So I called her, and she had a substitution of counsel that Tory had signed, and she gave me a really candid interview about meeting with him in jail, because apparently she represents, she has a client who's also on that same module as him. So that's how she got connected with him. And yeah, she said that he was despondent. She said his eyes were black and he was totally despondent, and he just wants to go to state prison because of the conditions he's facing, the isolation in jail and that kind of thing. And then, yeah, she brought up his lawyers are ripping him off. And she said that she was going to be trying to join the case. And I said, so are you going to be working with Jose Baez? And she said, I hope not. And she really kind of laid into Baez about that. So the next day they're all in court because the judge is supposed to approve this, or there's some kind of hearing going on. And Rhonda is there. Jose Baez is by phone, and Matthew Barhoma is there. So Rhonda goes back to meet with Tory, and she wants to take over the case, but Baez is obviously kind of in his ear telling him not to. And then Tory ends up meeting with Matthew and Baez, and then Rhonda leaves and doesn't end up joining the case. So Baez had kind of pushed her out of it. So it's a lot of business disputes. Maybe, I mean, Tory's in a position like a lot of celebrities are, where you do run the risk of attorneys are trying to use you for publicity. I mean, any attorney could just call up a journalist and be like, "Hey, I'm insert celebrity name here's new lawyer. Do an article on me. Be sure to include my website." You got to be kind of careful of that stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Jose Baez is charging Tory Lanez, but when I looked it up, he was charging Harvey Weinstein $200,000 a month as a retainer. In fact, and he charged him, I think, about $1 million.
Yeah.
Only to be found guilty later on.
Yeah.
And Harvey Weinstein is actually suing Baez, trying to get his money back. So I don't know if Tory's paying $200,000, but I'm thinking it's probably in that ballpark, only to go and bring up ridiculous motions of, he didn't do it, but if he did do it, then it's because of alcoholism. Stuff, it seems like everything that Baez threw to the judge was struck down.
Yeah, and one thing that surprised me about Baez's operation was the motion for new trial hearing. It was he and Barhoma arguing it. And Barhoma is a pretty green attorney with only a few years under his belt, doesn't have that much experience. Baez had an associate with him from his law firm in Orlando. She's been a lawyer for 9 months in Florida. Wow. And he let her argue in court. She actually argued some substantive issue of that thing. And I mean, the stuff that I've covered, there are junior partners at law firms who still don't get speaking roles in big trials. They have to defer to the older guys. So, I mean, she's been a lawyer for 9 months. It's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.